have been home visiting my family, and as I've been home, my sister and my mom have been watching The Bachelorette. Now they always watch this, so I've caught like some here and there, but I've never watched the whole season or anything or been interested at all. And this year I caught the last couple episodes of The Bachelorette and I am appalled and I just couldn't get over how awful Luke was, and also how perfect he was for highlighting all of the issues of gaslighting and manipulation and signs of a really controlling and abusive relationship. And like, this is the perfect case study on all of these things that I'm talking about, because he just highlights them so perfectly. It couldn't be any better like portrayed, right, if he was trying. So I decided to shoot a little video on some of the things that I noticed that are signs of manipulation, possible like an abusive relationship in the future, or at least controlling, signs of very unhealthy relationship, basically signs from somebody that you don't want to get into a relationship with, signs of kind of narcissistic personality disorder, stuff like that. It was all in there. And it's so painful to watch. Like, watching it, I had to like turn away from the TV sometimes because it was just so painful. And one of the things that stuck out most to me was when she said, "I don't know if I'm going crazy or falling in love." Now this is after she's already had issues with him, things have come up, she's felt like really torn and upset and been thrown off, but she just keeps saying things like, "Oh, but then there is all of this good stuff, and maybe this is a sign that we're meant to be," and blah 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 blah. But if you ever catch yourself saying things like that, that's not a sign that it's a good relationship and that you're falling in love. That's a sign that this is a manipulative person that isn't healthy for you. So if you're actually falling in love, it can be crazy as far as intense and emotional and just things you haven't felt before, but it's not crazy in the way that she's describing, in the stress and the overwhelm and the uncertainty and the weird things that are happening. It's crazy as in, "Oh man, I can't believe this, I feel so good about this, I just want to dive into this," all of that kind of stuff. That's what is more normal to come up, right? But not like, "I think I might be going crazy," or "I'm falling in love." The way she was describing it, it was highlighting really problematic behavior. And if someone is saying that to me in session, then I'm gonna help them identify that and work through that more, because she's saying all of the things that she knows aren't right, but then trying to justify it and being uncertain about it because she's just so confused. And that is one of the things that narcissistic people do, that are diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, abusive partners do, and that people who use manipulation and gaslighting do. They make you feel crazy, and then you're not sure if it's you or if it's them, or if you just really love them that much, or you aren't sure, but there's this real sense of confusion and like, am I going crazy? Is this person crazy? Am I crazy? Are we just meant to be and this is just that crazy and overwhelming? So that's one of the big pieces that I really wanted to highlight. One of the other ones that really stood out to me was, well, obviously he lies a lot. If you guys have watched the show, he gets caught in lies all the time. And when he gets caught in a lie and he knows it and he's with her, he backpedals and tries to erase it or change it completely. Like when they were talking this week about sex, he said, if I find out that you've had sex with anyone on this show, then I'm done and I would be out of here, that would be it. And then when she's like, well, that's not okay for me, and kind of called him on it, then he tried to backpedal, like he didn't actually say that or he didn't mean it. And he does that all the time. Like every time he's caught in something, he tries to backpedal and change it and just kind of move it around and manipulate it. And on that same note, but another tactic that's really problematic is when he does that, sometimes he tries to flip it back on her. Things like, well, I don't want you to misinterpret what I'm saying. So he's saying that as he's blatantly lying and flipping and switching, which does make you feel crazy because you're talking to someone and you're just like, what? Like, what are you even saying? Do you hear yourself? So those two things really highlight some problematic behavior. The constant flipping and switching. He says things like, I think you forgot what I said, or I think you're misconstruing what I said, or I think you're manipulating me, or things like that, which is not at all what she's doing. She's repeating back to him what he's saying, or saying, I have a problem with what you're saying. And then he's like, oh, well, you must be misinterpreting me then, right? And then he tries to put it back on her like she has the issue. Not that he has the issue, not that he was lying, not that he's saying things that don't make sense, none of that, but that she has the problem, right? And all of those, again, are signs of gaslighting, signs of manipulation, signs of a severe problem, okay? He can't own anything. He's always flipping it back on her. I made a few notes so I wouldn't forget everything. Yeah, so he blames her for all of his stuff. He doesn't ever take responsibility. Again, gaslighting, narcissism. And then he hits her with all of these things like, I fully trust that you'll make the right decision. And the whole way he sets it up is like, he tells her essentially, like, if you're a moral person, you will choose this and you will choose my way. And then he ends it with, and I fully trust that you'll make the right decision. But the whole time saying that the right decision is what he thinks and what he believes and what he wants. Whereas some of the other guys will say things like, you know, you do what you need to do, you make the decision that's best for you, you know, you just do you. This is completely opposite of what this guy Luke says, right? He totally sets her up. He tries to manipulate her and push her like value-wise, like, you say you're a woman of God and I believe you, and that means you'll make this decision and you'll feel this way, which is what I feel. But he never says, like, I trust you, period. I accept you, period. He says, sets it up to make her feel pressured to answer a certain way. And he does that a lot. And that's, again, another tactic that people use when they want to push you into a certain situation or a certain response, and you almost feel obligated because it makes you feel like, oh, well, I guess if I was doing the right thing or I was a moral person, then I would think that, but I don't, but then I don't know what to say. So should I agree or should I argue? And you just get confused and again, feel like you're crazy, right? And the last episode that I saw this week was, she was so good at calling him on it, right? She was just like, no, that's not okay with me. I don't agree with that. I'm not comfortable with that. Like, this isn't okay. I'm done. We're done. I'm not entertaining this discussion anymore. Which is what you have to do with these kind of situations and with these kind of people, because they will never let it go. They will keep twisting and turning and flipping, and they will keep making you crazy. And it can happen for hours during a conversation. It can happen for years. If you're in a relationship with them, you always feel like you can't win, like you're going crazy, like you're so confused, because they're always doing this dance and making you feel that way, right? So yeah, there's a lot more that I could go into, and I was tempted to like write it down or go back and watch some of the episodes that I missed, but I just can't do it. It's too painful. So that's my diagnosis so far on those episodes. If you have any to add, I'm sure there's so many other Luke things that are problematic that we can add. Let's just keep adding them. Or if you're like, oh no, that's like my boyfriend too, or my partner too, or, you know, could be showing up in a girlfriend for sure, or a female or male partner. But let me know, and always let me know if you have any questions. I don't know if you like more kind of fun videos like this or more of the serious ones, but kind of shooting a variety of things to see what works and what you guys like and what you want more of. So always let me know, leave a comment, reach out to me on my website. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Luke and the craziness that is The Bachelorette and The Bachelor and all of this reality TV madness, right? All right guys, have a good day. Bye.